Hey everybody, welcome back. Christopher Farms. What am I doing today? Well, I'm moving tiny house, but that's not what this video is going to be about. I'm going to put on some helper springs, or leaf spring assists as it says on the box. I have a half-ton truck, and I don't think I'll have a problem pulling it. It has a trailer package, the engine, transmission, and all that good stuff, but it does sit a little low when I got tiny house on it, and when I load up with firewood and stuff like that, gets a little low. So I thought I would put some helper springs on. I'm not if you found this video, you probably already understand what helper springs are all about and what they're not all about. Doesn't take your half-ton truck, make it a 3/4 ton truck, all that good stuff. So I'm not going to drill into any of that stuff, but here's a typical set that you could find. I think I got these at Auto Zone or Auto something or the other. Cost $63 total. It's full-time overleaf spring assist, set of 2, and these are sort of universal, so it fits most pickups, vans, SUVs, and stuff like that. And this particular set says it can help increase the load by 1,500 pounds, and up to a vehicle with 3-inch wide springs. So you can sort of get the idea here how they fit on the spring itself. So we'll go ahead and pop these open and check it out. Alright, oh, here's some better graphics here. This depicts more what my truck looks like with the axle on the bottom of the spring. So I'm just putting in one set in the back. You could actually put 2 in to increase the load, and maybe up to 2,000 pounds if you've got two sets or 2 pairs. But anyway, let's pop this open. So yeah, pretty straightforward. We have here 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, 4 of these, and some instructions. And this is just simple stuff here on glace. So yeah, you get the idea here. Probably it just fits over that spring. Bolt those on, tighten them down. If you got 2 sets, do it like that. As it says right here, and you'll see this everywhere, do not exceed manufacturer's maximum gross vehicle weight rating. So like I said, this doesn't take your truck from a half-ton to a 3/4 ton. Just keeps it from sagging in the end. So 7 steps. Check and tighten nuts after 50 miles. So all right. Probably the hardest thing of this whole task is going to be, it is 25 degrees outside, and I don't have a heated garage or anything, so I'm just going to go inside, put warm clothes on, and get to it. Alright, so here we are, back again. I've got one of the helper springs set in there. It's going to be really hard to video this, so might not see it. If I had to stand, I'd take tire off and do all that stuff, but I don't, and I want to do this as quickly as possible. But there's the where it's going to sit. The U-bolts will go on, and actually you guys have a better view of this than I do. There's the other end of it, and I'll just put that on there, tighten it down, and it should be good. So I got the helper spring on here. You can see it's right here, and then I got the 2 U-bolts here and here. And what my plan is, so I don't have to use like a C-clamp or something. I have enough thread on all of these, on both of these, that I can start the nuts and the plate. So put a plate on here and then start the nuts. And then what I can do is just, tighten down a little bit, come back over here, tighten down again over here, and then get this really good tightened in, and then I'll go to the other side. To this point, this is a pretty easy install. Of course, it'd be nice if it was sunny and 75, but it's not. It's cloudy. All right, so I've got the leaf spring in place up here, and I got the U-bolts on, got the nuts on, and washers and all stuff that goes in there. The instructions say to tighten these nuts down to 75 to 85 foot-pounds. I don't have a torque wrench, so I'm gonna guesstimate. Got a buddy that's got a torque wrench, so I'll probably go when I get down there and check these. But I'm gonna just crank on these until they're good and snug. And in the instructions, it doesn't show a gap between the helper spring and the spring. I don't know if you actually are supposed to go down that far or not, because you're supposed to go off of 75 to 85 foot-pounds, but I don't have torque wrench on these heads. At any rate, deep well socket definitely comes into play here. So I'm going to turn these down the rest of the way and then get started on the other side. Probably won't video that because it's chilly and my hand is cold and got lots of stuff to do today before we move tiny house. So once I get this done, I'll come back and give you a summary. All right, one thing I'll add, I'll jump back in here real quick, is I already see this making a difference right here. This gap has increased on this bottom spring and this middle spring here. I've seen it increase in that. And one other thing, if you don't have a torque wrench, I've noticed that when you tighten one of these up, it gets nice and tight, but the other one will get loose because it's a U-bolt. So one thing, if you don't have a torque wrench, when you tighten these down, make sure that you've got both of these sort of equally tight that you can feel, because you'll loosen one of these will be loose or whatnot if you crank one down, not the other. But so yeah, that's completed. I'm going to leave that right there. I'm actually almost bottomed out on my my deep well socket for that one, and this is nice and tight. It's almost touching down here. So yeah, I'm going to call that complete and move on to the other side. All right, all finished. Not much to show from this side, but you can see, you can see them in there. Got it bolted on both sides, and I can tell it's already started making a difference because of the gap right here. Increase a little bit. I'd say out of the box and on the ground, you could have these on easy in half an hour, if not a little less. You could take the tire off if you wanted, but heck, I think you'd spend more time taking it off and putting it back on than it is just to get under and do the whole thing. But by all means, you could take the tire off and it would make probably access a whole lot easier. But yeah, just get on the ground, crawl underneath there, and put them on. I'm gonna give this a it's pretty easy for, you don't really have to be mechanically inclined. You just have to have a wrench, a 3/4 or a 19 millimeter deep well, and you're good to go. So excellent.